This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Reasons and background of the war. The Spanish-American War started in 1898, and the reason for this conflict was the liberation of Cuba. The war started after Spain's rejection of the American request for the resolution of the Cuban struggle for independence. The expansionist sentiment within the United States government and the imperialistic moods of American political tradition motivated the government to work out the plan for separating Cuba from Spain. The starting point of the conflict was the revolution in Cuba. After that event, the United States government sent in the warship USS Maine, which revealed the immense political interest of the United States in that region. The American tabloids accused Spain of the oppression in the Spanish colonies. Originally, the Spanish-American War was started for a great deal of reasons. It is emphasized that the most important reasons are the treatment of the Cuban people by the Spanish government, yellow journalism, business interests, and the fact that the United States government wished to flex its muscles as a world power. The starting point of the conflict was the sinking of the United States battleship Maine in Havana Harbor on February 15, 1898. The United States claimed that the Spanish government was guilty of this sinking. However, it has not been proven. The United States was not prepared for this war, and according to logic, the war should be lost by United States troops. There was a shortage in everything except volunteers, as the agitation, held by yellow journalism, was immense. While Congress was convening and accepting the resolutions that supported Cuban independence, Senator Henry Moore Teller of Colorado offered the amendment, which was aimed at ensuring that the United States did not wish to set up permanent control over Cuba after the cessation of hostilities from Spain. The amendment was accepted. However, the resolution required immediate Spanish withdrawal, and it included the point that the United States President was capable of using the military forces in the volumes he considered sufficient to help Cuba achieve independence from Spain. President McKinley signed this resolution, and the ultimatum was sent by diplomatic mail to Spain on April 20, 1898. The Spanish government decided to terminate the diplomatic relations with the USA and announced war 3 days after sending the ultimatum. Consequences. This war is regarded as the starting point of American entry into the world political and diplomatic arena as an independent state. Since then, the United States has entered numerous treaties, conventions, and agreements and participated in a great deal of conflicts. Spain was no longer the imperial power. This defeat was the reason for national disaster because of the kinship of peninsular Spaniards with Cuba, which was considered as another province of Spain but not a colony. Few territories stayed under Spanish overseas control. From a cultural and social perspective, the war originated the appearance of a new generation, which was the basis of the renaissance of Spanish culture. The financial benefits for Spain were enormous. The capital, which was held by Cuban capitalists, was brought back to Spain and invested in Spanish industry. The political consequences were serious. It reasoned the weakening of the king's power of Alfonso XII. If you want to find more works like this essay on the Spanish-American War, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects.